Yes, guys. What's up? Listen, I just sat at home. So, listen, I just having some thoughts. So, I said, listen, let me go get my phone, get my camera, so I can share my thoughts with some of you guys that might be subscribed to my page and that like to listen in on whatever videos I make. So, anyway, I just sat down. I'm just thinking to myself. I feel like every fighter should have a basic level of economic education. Because listen, most of us fighters haven't got any economic education. We know nothing about the economy. And we got certain fighters that might see this video and say, I don't care about the economy. I don't need any economic education. I don't care about that shit. I don't take no interest in the economy. But the reality is that just because you're not taking interest in the economy is taking interest in you, and the economy is taking interest in your future. These people are sat down and they're making decisions about your future every day, and you don't know what's going on. Listen, it's different as an amateur boxer because as an amateur boxer, a lot of us got into boxing because we've had a troubled past. A lot of us, we didn't finish school. Like me, I didn't finish school. I got kicked out of my primary school. I got kicked out of my secondary school. I didn't go to university. I got no degree. A lot of us are coming from like troubled pasts, and we don't know anything about life. We don't know anything about life, and we missed out on a certain period of our life, and we find a passion, and that passion is called boxing. You go to the gym, you have your amateur fights, which you don't get paid for, and then you turn pro, and all of a sudden now it's a business. Not only is it a business, our boxing careers are so short. Many boxing careers last anywhere between 6 and 10 years. A few of the lucky ones, their careers last 15 years, even 20 years at times. Those are the lucky few. But in general, the average boxing career lasts anywhere between 6 and 10 years, maybe 12 years, something like that. The point I'm trying to make is that our boxing careers are so short. And in that time, we need to make as much money as we can. Not only that, is we need to prepare for life after boxing. And the trap that a lot of fighters get caught in, a trap that I got caught in, is you're a prospect, you're a name, you're on the billboards, you're on Sky Sports News, you're on the TV, you're on the newspapers, you're famous now. And you've got a few sponsors. So now you've gone from making nothing as an amateur, now you're making half decent money. Whether you fight or not, you're getting that paycheck of your sponsors into your bank account every month. And the trap that a lot of us get caught in is we think that a tap is going to continue running. It's going to continue running forever. The tap doesn't. We think, yes, I'm earning 5k a month now with my sponsors. It's only going to get higher. It's only going to get more. Okay, I'm getting 30 grand a fight now. It's only going to get higher. It's only going to get more. And it does get higher. As you continue to win, you get more sponsors. You're making more money. Your fight purse goes up. But then you take that loss, and the fight check now goes down. The fight check now goes down, and you're used to living a certain lifestyle, and you need to maintain that lifestyle, but it costs money to maintain that lifestyle, and you're not thinking about life after boxing because boxing's all you've ever known from when you was a kid. You've never had a job. Boxing's all you've known. You can't think about life after boxing, and one day that tap stops running. And I've seen it happen many times to many fighters. Listen, I've seen fighters that have won big fights, fighters that have won world titles, and now their boxing career's done and they got nothing. What do you have? You got a bunch of memories. Oh, when I was boxing, I fought in this arena, I fought in that arena. Wow, I traveled the world. Wow, I slept with so many beautiful women. But what do you have now? You have nothing. And you're living on your memories. You're re-uploading the same picture. The 3rd of January last year, I was in this arena. Wow. And then the next year, the 3rd of January 2 years ago, this is what I was doing. Next year, wow, the 3rd of January 3 years ago. And you're reliving the same memories, but you got nothing right now because you didn't prepare. Why? Because you had no financial, you got no economic education. This is why it's important for fighters to have some education so we can get ready for life after boxing. And this isn't your manager's job to teach you these things. Your manager's job is to get you the right fights at the right time, to sort out the contracts for your fights. Your manager's job is not to teach you about money. Your manager's job is not to teach you how to become financially free. Why? Because the second you become financially free, you don't need to fight as much. When you don't fight as much, your manager's not making as much money as he could. So for your manager to maximize his own earnings, he needs to keep you in a state of ignorance. He needs to keep you in a state of, I need to fight to get the next paycheck. Your boxing coach's job, even though he's got investments, even though he already bought 5 or 6 houses, even though he knows about stocks and shares, he knows about the cryptocurrency world, his job is not to teach you about these things. The second that he teaches you about these things and you become financially free, you don't need to fight as much. When you don't fight as much, and now your coach doesn't earn as much. When he doesn't earn as much, he can't buy as many houses. He can't make as many investments as he wants to. Why? Because he's not making as much money as he was. Why? Because he's taught you about financial education and you're financially free and you don't need to fight. So for our coaches and our managers, it's a detriment to themselves to teach us about money. It's a detriment to themselves to make us financially free because now they're making less money. So to maximize their own earnings, their own profit, they need to keep the fighters in a state of ignorance. And listen, I'm not saying anything bad about no managers, about no boxing coaches, because they're all great people. They're all great people. But I'm just talking about they want to progress in their life and in their field. And the more we fight, is the more they earn. The less we fight, is the less they earn. So we need to get to a place where we are educated ourselves. And I'm not talking about deep financial education. I'm talking about basic economic education. Like, listen, I remember the first time I turned pro, when I was at the Cindy's gym. So after my 5 or 6 or 7 fights in, something like that. And listen, I never made a lot of money, I never made a lot of money in my first few fights. I was getting like fucking 2.5k a fight, 3k a fight, maybe 4k a fight, here and there. And so, I wasn't over the tax threshold, so I didn't need to pay no tax. But once I got to a place where I'm now making enough money to pay my tax, I'm in the gym one day and Tony Sims came out to me and he was like, okay, OD, you've had your fun now, you've made a bit of money, more than you've had in the past, but now it's time to start paying your tax. And I was like, what's that? And he looked at me and he laughed. And he was like, you've got to start paying your tax. And I was like, yeah, well, what's tax? Who do I pay it to? What's it? Who am I? What the fuck is tax? And he basically sat me down and he explained to me, you see, sometimes when you get injured and you called your ambulance and they come for you, who do you think pays for the ambulance van? Who do you think pays for their fuel? Who do you think pays their wages? How about when someone goes and they commit a crime and the police get called? Who do you think's paying for that police car, their petrol and their wages? How about the fire brigade when there's a fire? Who do you think pays for their big truck? Who do you think pays their water bill? How about when you see the potholes in the road and you see after a couple of months the pothole's gone because it's been fixed? Who do you think pays for that? It's the taxpayers' money. And he basically explained to me that every everyone that works every month, the government takes a bit of their money, he puts it into the tax fund, and and they allocate their money into different services. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I've got to start paying tax. How much is it? Who do I pay it? How do I pay it? He got me in touch with the accountant, and then I started paying tax. But if it wasn't for Tony Sims, I would have went years not understanding what tax is, and I wouldn't have gone and paid tax. I wouldn't have paid tax because I didn't know what the fuck tax was, and then I would have made money, and then tax man would have come for me years later down the line, and then I would have been fucked. But through Tony Sims getting me in touch with the accountant, even though I didn't have a deep, education about finances, at least I know what my tax is, and I know how to pay tax, and I'm paying my tax. And then you got to start thinking about investments because, again, Tony Sims, he told a lot of his fighters, buy some property, buy some property, buy some property. And that makes me think every fighter should buy some houses, flats, apartments. Well, just buy something. Whether it is a 3-bedroom house or a studio apartment, whether it is in London or in Sheffield or in Newcastle, just buy something. Just buy something, because after your career is done, you don't want to look back and say, I had a good run, I won a few belts, look at my belts, but I'm still living at mum's house. If that's what situation you're in because you didn't make enough money, it's okay. But your goal should be at least get one flat. A studio flat even. Just get the one. Just the one. If you make enough money to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, great. But the main goal is just to get the one. Because you don't want to have your boxing career end with a bunch of memories. And you know what? Even if your boxing career ends and you didn't make so much money and you have to go get a job in Asda, it's okay. At least you can say, I work in Asda, but a portion of my paycheck is going to my mortgage to pay off my house, which I own. At least you can say that as a bare minimum. Because listen, this boxing game's a hard game. Listen, we're spending our boxing careers getting hit in the head. It's not like, it's not body sparring. We're losing brain cells. And we're selling a part of our sanity for your entertainment. At least we should get some financial compensation, which we do. We do get paid for it. But at least we should be smart with those finances. Be smart with it. Just get the one flat. Of course, if you get there's other investments. There's stocks and shares, cryptocurrencies, there's so many different, they've got so many other investments that might make you more than what you'd make in the property field. But the property field is just the easiest one. That's why I'm saying go and get a flat, because that's the easiest thing to understand. You buy a flat, you pay the mortgage, that's it. When I started talking about stocks and shares, crypto, different currencies, different sorts of, these stuff take a deeper level of economic education. And most fighters don't have that. Most fighters haven't got the time to get that because they're so busy in the gym. They haven't got time to go through and learn about what the economy really is. So this is why I'm saying, just get the one flat. It's easy, just get the one flat and get more. And after your career's done, at least you've got that investment there. Then you can learn about other investments. And then, if you want to get into other things, you can. But just get flats because they're easier. They're the easiest. You get the flats, you put a tenant in there, or you live there, they pay their rent, which in turn pays off the mortgage, and then, that's how you live. Because what you don't want, a lot of fighters, we like to waste our money because we think the tap's going to keep on running. And I wasted a hell of a lot of money. Like I told you guys before, after I fought Taylor, I was still living at mum's house. And that's the first fight where I made okay money. What did I do? I took a girl out to the States. I spent 10 grand in 10 days. I'm still living at mum's house. Come on, I'm still living at my mum's house. Spending 10 grand in 10 days. And then I came back here. I was going to get the BMW i8. That car, like, you know, where the car goes up, like the Lambo, the door go up, you know, the side goes up. That car's like 60 grand for a second hand one. I was gonna get that. Then my brother said, no, you dumb fuck, go get a flat instead. And that's how it all started. And to this day, I still haven't got the car. Even though I can afford a car, I'm not gonna get the car because ever since I got the first flat, I got financially educated and I've learned about liabilities against assets. And now I know the difference. I'm not trying to buy any liabilities. I'm trying to bring my liabilities down. I'm trying to get a cheaper car. Listen, don't be shocked if you see me in a smart car this time next year. Because any money I get, I'm trying to invest it. I'm trying to make more. And I'm trying to make the assets pay for my liabilities. Okay? Boxing money shouldn't buy you the new Mercedes. Boxing money shouldn't buy you the Range Rover. Boxing money should buy the assets, and the assets should buy you the Range Rover. If you're not making enough money from your assets to get the new Mercedes, to get the Range Rover, you can't afford it. Whatever money you get, put it into assets, because our boxing careers can end any time, any day. You can be on top of the world one day. You could be a world champion, and you have one fight where something goes wrong, and your boxing career is over. I don't care if you got a 3-fight deal making £1 million a fight. If something goes wrong in your next fight, and you're not the same no more, and you're mentally fucked, the other 2 fights are gone. That guaranteed paycheck you got is gone. And it does happen, and it can happen. So listen, I'm just making this, this here because I just want to encourage fighters to be smart. I'm gonna tell you this because I've been a fighter. I am a fighter. Your coach isn't gonna tell you this. Your manager isn't gonna tell you this. And as I said earlier, managers and the coaches, they're great people, but they gotta look out for their best interests. As a fighter, you have to look out for your best interests. You, your mum, your dad, your girlfriend, your brothers, your sisters, these people are looking out for your best interests. Your coaches and your managers are looking out for your best interests, but they're also looking out for their best interests. And they care more about their best interests than they do about your best interests. So you got to sit down and look at those that love you, and you got to listen to them and be smart. Because listen, boxing, you take a hell of a lot of hits in the head, And the past few months, past year or so, I've been thinking about how much, damage we take. And we take a lot of damage in our careers. And what you don't want is to have a career that goes on past your sell-by date because you need the money. You don't want a career that goes on past your sell-by date because you need the money. When your time's done, you start getting beat, you start getting hit. You're not as sharp, and you're not as sharp as you once was. You need to know and say, listen, it's time for me to get out of the game. You don't want to have to stay in the game because you want the money. Listen, go get a normal job. You're making less money, but it's okay. At least you got a mortgage and you're paying it off. And if every fighter has this mindset from the start of their boxing careers, a lot of us will leave the game in a much happier place. A lot of boxers, we leave the game quite bitter. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about so many other fighters. They leave the game and they're quite bitter because they didn't make what they thought they were going to make. In this game, it's not even about what you make, it's about how much you invest, man. Listen, you can make £1 million, but if you spend that £1 million on liabilities and you get another fighter that made 100k and he spends 100k on assets, the fighter that made 100k is richer than the one that made £1 million, because that £1 million will soon go. The 100k will be bringing him income for the rest of his life. Fighters should learn about a pension fund. We should learn about basic economics. We should learn about money. We should learn about what money is. We should learn about why the pound is fake money. The dollar isn't real money. The pound, the dollar, a lot of the times they say to us to save money. There's a reason why in this video I haven't spoken about saving money, because I don't save money. Because money is losing value. The pound, Listen, the pound isn't even money. The pound is what we call currency. The pound isn't real money. When you learn about this shit, it changes. It changes you. The pound isn't real money. The pound is just fucking currency, and the more money you save is the more money you lose because the pound is going down in value every fucking day. £1,000 last year is not £1,000 this year. £1,000 last year is like £920 this year because inflation eats up the value of the pound. This is why we need to get out of money and get into assets. Because when I talk about property, when I talk about Bitcoin, crypto, yes, the property market, it brings you money because you get the cash flow, but it's also an inflation hedge. When you got currency in the form of the pound and you have it in the bank, it's going down in value. But when you convert that pound into property, when the pound goes down because of inflation, your property value goes up. So it's the inflation hedge. It's the inflation hedge. And every fighter should learn about these things, because a lot of athletes, we end our careers broke and, we end up worse after our careers than we did even before our careers. A lot of the times before our careers, we come in the game with nothing and we leave our careers in debt with less than nothing. It's fucked, it's fucked. Anyway, I'm just babbling on now, so I'm gonna end this video. But yeah, I'm just wanted to share some thoughts with you guys. And I'm out. Peace.